When we talk about touring motorcycles, there are certain specifics that we have in mind. Ample comfort, punchy performance, and a decent amount of fuel economy. Considering these requirements, what options do we have? Behold, the Bajaj Dominar 400. The Bajaj Dominar is one of the most beautiful looking motorcycles that have been made by an Indian manufacturer. It's got full LED headlamps with AHO feature that are not just visually appealing but also do their job awesomely well. Believe me when I say this, but the bright lamps blind people even in the daylight. The bike is well designed and it gets somewhat of a boxy look. It's got a meaty 30-litre tank. The bike gets a split seat setup. The seats are comfortable, but they are also a little hard, so you might find it quite distressing on long rides. The bike has got full LED tail lamps. The tail section hides the fat rear tire. Speaking of which, the bike gets a 150 section rear tire, while the front is a 110 section tire. The exhaust is quite short and stubby. The bike has got two all-digital consoles. As you can see, the visibility is not that great in sunlight. It's got a tachometer, 2 trip meters, an odometer, a clock, a fuel gauge, a speedometer. Despite having two digital consoles, the bike still misses out on a gear position indicator. The switchgear is of decent quality, but it doesn't catch the eye as anything exceptional or premium. The mirrors are also not of a great quality, with them vibrating on higher RPMs, distorting the images. Moving on to the heart of the bike. The Bajaj Dominar 400 gets a 373cc single-cylinder fuel-injected engine. It's very smooth, quick, and doesn't let you feel the weight of the bike. The engine is not too vibey, but yes, vibrations are present and they start onwards of 4000 RPM. The bike gets a red line of about 13,000 RPM, but the power output just stops at 9,000. The bike is a bit of a drag to ride on in the lower ranges, but it feels good in the mid and high ranges. You can cruise on the bike easily at around 115 to 120 kilometers per hour. Now, as compared to KTM, the engine braking is not that hard, but it's still very intrusive. The gear shift on this bike is clunky and it can be quite irritating at times. The seating position is straight and upright. It's quite comfortable. The bike is a naked bike. You feel the wind blast and it's bad about 110 kilometers per hour. There is no pressure on your hands, shoulders or back, even after riding for long hours. The bike is very flickable and nimble, considering the weight. You might feel the weight though slightly on the corners. It is easily maneuverable in city roads. The brakes on this bike are really exceptional. The ABS also works pretty well. Now the tire of this bike is pretty grippy and it keeps the bike stable. The suspension is monoshock at the rear and telescopic forks at the front. Now the suspension is slightly stiff yet comfortable, but the potholes do trouble you sometimes. Let's go back to our original question. Can this bike be used as a daily commuter as well as for the occasional touring purposes? Let's look at a few negatives. Now, the 13-litre tank is not quite fit for touring purposes, and it also affects the fuel economy quite a bit. I found the suspension a lot lacking, and honestly, it could do a lot better. Also, considering the dual display system, you cannot really use a tank bag. And talking about saddlebags, I'm not sure about using them, and you can't really fit panniers in here. But we feel that the bike has got a lot more to offer considering its price range. That's all from my side. For more such reviews, stay tuned to my channel.